My life is so miserable now because I've let my weight get so out of control that I'm barely functioning. And it's getting harder and worse every single day.
You've likely stumbled across My 600 LB Life while channel surfing, that raw, often heartbreaking TLC show where Dr. Untold, affectionately known as Dr. Now, helps severely obese patients fight for their lives.
I'm Dr. Nazardan, and you are Tiffany?
Yes.
So, Tiffany, you're here to get help with your weight because you're at 672 pounds.
Yeah.
With his no-nonsense approach and signature phrases like, "This is not good situation,"
Well, this really looked bad. Very badly infected.
the Houston-based surgeon offers a lifeline to those trapped in bodies that have become their prisons.
I want to go home. That's all I want. I just want out of this office and go home.
But despite the show's inspirational transformations, not every story ends in triumph. Behind the weight loss journeys and surgical interventions lies a sobering reality. For some patients, help came too late.
It's all right, like, it's just like having an out-of-body experience.
Their stories, perhaps the most important of all, remind us just how dangerous morbid obesity can be even with world-class medical intervention. Who were these individuals whose battles ended too soon, and what can we learn from their struggles? Before we dive into individual stories, let's understand what My 600 LB Life really documents. This isn't just reality television, it's a window into a life-threatening medical emergency happening in slow motion. Each episode follows individuals weighing 600 pounds or more as they travel to Houston, Texas, seeking Dr. Nazardan's specialized help. The formula seems simple: follow the diet, lose weight, qualify for weight loss surgery, and transform your life. But the reality is infinitely more complex. Dr. No's approach combines tough love with genuine compassion. His patients aren't just fighting cravings, they're battling addiction, trauma, mental health issues, and bodies on the verge of complete system failure. At this weight, the human frame simply wasn't designed to function. Hearts struggle to pump blood through miles of extra blood vessels. Lungs fight to expand against crushing pressure. Joints crumble, skin breaks down, organs suffer under layers of visceral fat. The statistics are grim. Someone with a BMI over 40 faces a reduced life expectancy of 8 and 10 years. Above 50, that jumps to 12-14 years lost. Many of Dr. Now's patients have BMIs exceeding 70 or 80, territory so dangerous that everyday activities become potentially fatal. Something as simple as lying down could cause suffocation if fat deposits around the neck block airways. Even minor infections can become catastrophic when complicated by diabetes, restricted mobility, and compromised immune systems. Sean Milliken, a difficult childhood. Sean Milliken's story first captivated viewers in 2016 when he appeared on Season 4, weighing over 900 pounds, one of the heaviest patients ever featured. Behind his gentle smile and soft-spoken manner lay a childhood marked by trauma and a deeply complicated relationship with his mother, Renee. Sean's weight issues began after his parents' divorce when he was just 10 years old. Food became both comfort and coping mechanism. "I remember what made me start gaining weight," Sean explained during his episode. "We'd be at school, and my dad would be gone for weeks at a time, and when he was home, they'd constantly fight. My mom made me feel safe and secure, and food was how she showed me love." That maternal relationship would prove both supportive and problematic throughout Sean's weight loss journey. While Renee claimed to want her son's independence, her actions often suggested otherwise. She continued preparing massive meals despite Dr. No's strict diet plan and struggled to encourage Sean's autonomy. This codependence was so concerning that Dr. No eventually insisted they attend therapy together. Initially, Sean made promising progress. After qualifying for weight loss surgery, his weight dropped to around 600 pounds. But his momentum faltered after Renee's unexpected death in 2017. Devastated by the loss of his primary caregiver and emotional anchor, Sean became increasingly isolated and depressed. His weight began climbing again despite continued intervention from Dr. Now. By 2019, Sean had relocated to a facility capable of managing his care, but complications from an infection proved too severe. At just 29 years old, Sean Milliken passed away on February 17, 2019. His death certificate listed his causes of death as complications from an infection, with contributing factors including morbid obesity and his recent weight gain. James L.B. Bonner, the fan favorite. The weight loss community was stunned in August 2018 when news broke that James L.B. Bonner had taken his own life at age 30. His death seemed particularly shocking because, unlike many featured on the show, LB had appeared to be winning his battle against obesity. LB's journey to 650 pounds differed somewhat from other patients. An accident in his teenage years resulted in a leg amputation, leading to depression and significant weight gain. Despite this physical challenge, LB maintained a charismatic personality that quickly made him a fan favorite when he appeared in Season 6. His southern charm, disarming humor, and transparent struggle resonated with viewers in a powerful way. What made LB's story initially hopeful was his remarkable success. He embraced Dr. Now's program with determination, losing nearly 400 pounds through diet, exercise, and gastric bypass surgery. On social media, he shared inspiring workout videos, positive messages, and his newfound passion for activities like hiking and horseback riding, things that had been impossible at his highest weight. But beneath the visible transformation lurked invisible demons. As LB's appearance changed dramatically, he faced the psychological challenge of reconciling his new external reality with deeply entrenched internal struggles. In his last Facebook post before his death, he wrote, "I've realized a few things over the last few days, and it's time that I face my demons head-on." Hours later, LB was found deceased from a self-inflicted gunshot wound in his South Carolina home. His death highlighted a crucial aspect of extreme weight loss journeys that the show sometimes underrepresents: the profound psychological adjustments required. When food has been your primary coping mechanism for trauma, anxiety, or depression, removing it without addressing underlying mental health issues can leave a dangerous void. Kelly Mason, so close to success. Kelly Mason's story stands among the most heartbreaking in the show's history, not because she failed in her weight loss journey, but because she succeeded, only to have victory snatched away at the moment of her greatest triumph. When Kelly first met with Dr. Now in Season 7, she weighed 725 pounds and suffered from an alarming list of weight-related conditions: heart failure, diabetes, high blood pressure, arthritis, thyroid problems, and an anxiety disorder. At 42, her heart was so compromised that Dr. Now warned her she might not survive another month without intervention. Unlike some patients who resist the program's strictures, Kelly embraced the challenge, recognizing it truly was her final chance. What followed was one of the most impressive transformations in the show's history. Kelly lost nearly 300 pounds in less than a year, faithfully following Dr. Now's diet and making genuine lifestyle changes. Her mobility improved dramatically, her diabetes came under control, and for the first time in years, she began to envision a future beyond mere survival. During a regular checkup at the 9-month mark, Dr. Now delivered the news Kelly had been working toward. "I'm really proud of you. I'm happy to tell you that you are officially a weight loss surgery candidate." Her joy was palpable as she hugged Dr. Now, a rare emotional moment for the typically stoic surgeon. In a cruel twist of fate, Kelly passed away in her sleep just 1 month later on February 15, 2019, from heart failure. Despite her tremendous progress, the years of damage to her cardiovascular system proved irreversible. Dr. Now, visibly shaken when delivering the news to viewers, explained she was doing everything she needed, but her heart gave out. Henry Foots, one of the first casualties. Long before My 600lb Life became the cultural phenomenon it is today, Henry Foots appeared in the show's first season in 2012, making him one of the pioneers in the televised weight loss journey format. When viewers met Henry, he weighed 715 pounds and was preparing for his 20-year high school reunion, a milestone he desperately wanted to attend as a healthier version of himself. Unlike many patients featured in later seasons, Henry's story initially seemed headed for an unambiguous happy ending. Charming, determined, and remarkably consistent, he embraced Dr. Now's program and lost an impressive 440 pounds over the course of his episode. This dramatic transformation allowed him to attend his reunion with confidence, even dancing with old friends, a moment of pure joy that remains one of the show's most uplifting scenes. Henry's journey wasn't without complications, however. During his second skin removal surgery, he technically died on the operating table before being resuscitated. This brush with death gave him a renewed appreciation for life. "I was gone," he shared afterward. "I know that it wasn't my time yet because I feel like I have a lot more to do in life than what I've done." Tragically, Henry would have less time than anyone anticipated. In May 2013, just over a year after his episode aired, Henry passed away at age 47. While initial reports suggested he died in a work-related accident while driving a shuttle bus, his family later clarified that he experienced a medical emergency while behind the wheel, causing him to lose consciousness. The bus rolled forward, but no passengers were injured, and Henry's death was attributed to natural causes unrelated to his weight loss. James King, a controversial figure. Few patients in the show's history polarized viewers as much as James King, whose contentious relationship with Dr. Now and apparent resistance to the program made his episodes among the most frustrating to watch. When James first appeared in Season 5, he weighed 791 pounds and was completely bedridden, suffering from cellulitis, kidney failure, and cirrhosis, among other conditions. Unlike many patients who show initial determination, James's journey was marked by consistent weight gain rather than loss. During his first year in the program, he gained nearly 150 pounds, reaching a shocking 938 pounds. At that time, the heaviest weight ever recorded on the show. Dr. Now's normally composed demeanor cracked as he confronted James and his wife, Lisa, whom he suspected of sabotaging James's efforts by continuing to provide high-calorie foods. "This is a dire situation," Dr. Now told them bluntly. "You're dying in front of her and she's letting you." The confrontation highlighted one of the most difficult aspects of treating extreme obesity, the role of enablers who, despite claiming to want the best for their loved ones, actively undermine their treatment. The situation grew more concerning when Dr. Now discovered Lisa had been sneaking fast food into the hospital for James. When confronted, James became defensive, insisting he was following the diet despite all evidence to the contrary. This pattern continued through multiple "where are they now" follow-ups, with brief periods of progress followed by significant regression. James died on April 3, 2020 at age 49 of kidney failure resulting from his various weight-related conditions. His death sparked complex reactions from viewers who had followed his journey. Some expressed sadness at what they saw as a preventable tragedy, while others pointed to James as an example of how deeply entrenched food addiction can override even the most basic survival instincts. Lisa Fleming, the bedridden patient. Lisa Fleming's introduction on Season 6 provided one of the show's most shocking moments when she revealed that maggots had been found in the folds of her skin, a disturbing illustration of how extreme obesity can make basic hygiene nearly impossible. Weighing 704 pounds and completely bedridden, Lisa required 7 paramedics just to extract her from her home for the journey to Houston. Lisa's relationship with food began in childhood with a traumatic event, finding her mother dead in bed. Food became her solace, and by adulthood, she was raising 4 children while continuing to gain weight. By the time viewers met her, Lisa required her daughter Danielle's full-time care for even the most basic functions. What made Lisa's situation particularly troubling was the evidence of enablement. Despite claiming she wanted to lose weight, Lisa was shown demanding specific foods from her children and becoming irate when they hesitated to comply. This dynamic created tension between Lisa and Dr. Now, who directly confronted her family about their role in maintaining her dangerous weight. Initially, Lisa seemed to make progress, losing enough weight to qualify for weight loss surgery. However, she struggled with the post-operative lifestyle changes and began to regain weight. Her attitude during follow-up appointments grew increasingly defensive, with Lisa insisting she was following the program despite her results suggesting otherwise. Lisa passed away in August 2018 at age 50. Her daughter Danielle announced the death on social media, stating that her mother's passing wasn't related to her weight issues, but declining to provide specific details. At the end, she was sick and her body was tired, and her body just gave out, Danielle explained. Whether directly weight-related or not, Lisa's death highlighted how years of extreme obesity create cascading health complications that become increasingly difficult to reverse. Her story also illustrated the complex psychology behind enabling relationships, where family members caught between love and codependence struggle to set boundaries that might save lives. Robert Buchel, a tragic mid-journey loss. Robert Bushell's story represents one of the most immediate tragedies in the show's history, the only patient to die during the actual filming of their episode. When 41-year-old Robert appeared in Season 6 with fiancée Catherine, he weighed 842 pounds and suffered from lymphedema, severe swelling in his legs that made even minimal movement excruciating. Initially, Robert seemed to be one of Dr. Now's most promising patients. Determined to marry Catherine and start the life they dreamed of together, he embraced the program with remarkable dedication. Within months, he had lost over 340 pounds, an exceptional achievement that qualified him for lymphedema removal surgery to address the massive swelling in his legs. The surgery marked a turning point, but not in the direction anyone had hoped. Without the physical pain that had preoccupied him for years, Robert began struggling with the psychological aspects of his weight loss journey. He developed an addiction to pain medication prescribed after his surgery and fell into a deep depression when Dr. Now, recognizing the developing dependency, refused to continue prescribing the medication. Catherine later revealed that Robert's relationship with food had always been an addiction, and when that coping mechanism was removed through the program, he simply transferred his addictive behaviors to pain medication. When that too was removed, he found himself without the emotional crutches he'd relied on throughout his life. On November 15, 2017, while still participating in the program and residing in a Houston hospital, Robert suffered a fatal heart attack. His death, which aired in an unusually somber episode, was a stark reminder of how precarious health remains even during successful weight loss. The physical stress of extreme obesity creates lasting damage to cardiovascular systems that can manifest fatally even as the scale shows improvement. Perhaps most heartbreaking was Catherine's grief, captured in the episode's final moments. He told me, "I don't think I'll make it through the night. I love you and I always will." Their planned wedding never materialized, but her dedication throughout his journey demonstrated the profound love that had motivated his attempt at recovery. Coliezer McMillian, complications after surgery. When 41-year-old Coliezer McMillian appeared on Season 8 in early 2020, she arrived with a sense of urgency, unlike many other patients. Having already survived a massive heart attack that left her with a failing cardiovascular system, she told viewers plainly, "I know that my heart could give out at any time. I can feel the weight crushing me to death." As a single mother of 4 daughters, Colieza's motivation was clear and compelling. Weighing 643 pounds, she explained how a series of traumatic events had fueled her weight gain, including losing her fiancé in a car accident and enduring an abusive relationship. Food had become her way of numbing emotional pain, but the physical consequences had become life-threatening. Despite her precarious health, Coliezer approached Dr. Now's program with determination, losing enough weight to qualify for gastric sleeve surgery despite concerns about her heart condition. The surgery initially appeared successful, but complications quickly arose. Coliezer developed a leak in her intestine that became septic, requiring emergency surgery and placing her in a medically induced coma for several weeks. Though she eventually recovered enough to return home to Louisiana, Coliezer never fully rebounded from these complications. Her daughter Hannah later revealed that her mother had been in and out of hospitals since filming ended, dealing with various complications related to her surgery and pre-existing conditions. On August 25, 2020, just months after her episode aired, Coliezer passed away at age 41. While her family didn't specify an exact cause, medical experts familiar with such cases suggest that the combined strain of her pre-existing heart condition and the surgical complications likely created an insurmountable burden on her already compromised system. Colieza's story illustrates the difficult risk calculations involved in treating extreme obesity. For patients with severe cardiac issues, weight loss surgery represents both potential salvation and significant danger. The very procedures that might extend their lives also pose immediate risks that their compromised bodies may not be able to withstand. Dr. Now often explains this catch-22 to patients. Without surgery, their obesity will likely kill them, but surgery itself carries elevated risks due to their compromised health. Renee Milliken, A Mother's Struggle. While Renee Milliken wasn't officially a patient on My 600lb Life, her presence loomed large in Son Sean's episode and subsequent Where Are They Now follow-ups. Her story represents the often overlooked side of extreme obesity. the complex dynamics of caretakers who themselves struggle with weight and codependency. When viewers first met Renee, she weighed approximately 550 pounds and served as the primary caretaker for Sean, who weighed over 900 pounds. Their relationship exemplified what psychologists call codependent enablement. Sean depended entirely on Renee for care, while Renee derived purpose and emotional fulfillment from being needed. This dynamic created a situation where Sean's potential independence potentially threatened Renee's sense of identity. Throughout Sean's episode, Dr. Now expressed concern about Renee's role in her son's weight gain.
You're killing him right now. This has to stop. This is a very unhealthy dynamic between them.
Despite claiming to support Sean's weight loss efforts, she continued preparing massive meals and often undermined the program's dietary restrictions. When confronted, Renee would become defensive or emotional, suggesting she lacked insight into how her actions affected her son's health. The complexity of their relationship became evident during family therapy sessions, where Renee admitted that caring for Sean gave her life meaning after her divorce. "I don't know who I am if I'm not taking care of Sean," she confessed in one particularly revealing moment. This codependence made it difficult for either of them to make sustainable progress in addressing their weight issues. In March 2017, Renee passed away suddenly from kidney failure related to her obesity. Her death proved devastating for Sean, who had rarely spent a day without his mother's presence. Without her, he struggled to maintain his weight loss progress and fell into a depression that contributed to his own health decline. In many ways, their individual stories cannot be fully understood in isolation from one another. Their health journeys were as intertwined as their emotional lives. The medical reality of extreme obesity. To fully understand the stories of those who didn't survive their weight loss journeys, we need to examine the medical reality of what happens to the human body at weights exceeding 600 pounds. The complications aren't merely about aesthetics or mobility, they represent a comprehensive assault on virtually every bodily system. Cardiovascular effects rank among the most immediately life-threatening. The heart, designed to supply a body of normal proportions, must work ceaselessly to pump blood through hundreds of extra miles of blood vessels that supply excess fat tissue. This relentless strain leads to hypertension, enlarged heart, cardiomegaly, heart failure, and increased risk of sudden cardiac death. For patients like Kelly Mason and Robert Buchel, these cardiovascular issues proved fatal despite significant weight loss progress. Respiratory compromise creates equally dangerous conditions. The sheer weight of chest fat restricts lung expansion, while abdominal fat pushes upward against the diaphragm. This combination results in shallow breathing, poor oxygenation, and often sleep apnea, a condition where breathing repeatedly stops during sleep. Chronic oxygen deprivation damages organs throughout the body, particularly the brain and heart, creating a vicious cycle of worsening health. Metabolic disorders, especially type 2 diabetes, develop as fat cells become resistant to insulin. Uncontrolled diabetes damages blood vessels, nerves, and organs throughout the body. Patients like James King and Lisa Fleming suffered from advanced diabetic complications, including neuropathy, nerve damage, retinopathy, eye damage, and nephropathy, kidney damage, that continue progressing even during treatment. The immune system becomes compromised through multiple mechanisms. Fat tissue itself produces inflammatory compounds that create chronic low-grade inflammation throughout the body. Immobility leads to poor circulation, allowing infections to develop in skin folds where moisture accumulates. These infections, like those experienced by Sean Milliken, can quickly become systemic and life-threatening due to reduced immune function. Perhaps most critically, extreme obesity creates a state where the body's repair mechanisms simply cannot keep pace with ongoing damage. Even when patients begin losing weight, years of strain have often caused irreversible changes to vital organs. Hearts remain enlarged and weakened. Liver damage from fatty liver disease persists. Kidney function, once diminished, rarely recovers fully.